Late Night Stories Podcast. Time's up. For the community college guy. You know who you are. And I haven't forgotten about how in the early 2000s, the airwaves were bombarded with a very particular brand of local advertising: community college commercials. These ads became infamous for their over-the-top jingles, cheesy slogans, and repetitive airtime, often playing during prime daytime TV slots or late-night programming. The formula. Each commercial followed a formula. First, there was the upbeat, almost aggressively enthusiastic announcer hyping up the idea of getting your career started today. This was usually paired with footage of people in stock situations, smiling students in classrooms, a chef flambeing a dish, or a mechanic confidently tightening a bolt. A catchy but irritating jingle would inevitably play, designed to stick in your brain whether you wanted it or not. The annoyance amplified. What made these commercials unbearable was their sheer repetition. You'd be watching something innocent like a daytime talk show or a late-night movie, and suddenly, a commercial for Westward Hills Career Institute would air. Before you could reach for the remote, it would be followed by another ad for Bright Futures Community College, using nearly the exact same tone, music, and promises of success. If you watched long enough, you started to feel like you were stuck in a loop, hearing the same tired pitch every single time. Adding to the frustration, many of these colleges were for-profit institutions, often accused of predatory practices that targeted people looking for a quick way to improve their lives. The cultural impact. These ads became a meme of their own. People joked about how you couldn't escape them, no matter the time of day. Late-night hosts, local radio DJs, and even YouTube creators parodied them. The jingles were so memorable that some people can still sing them to this day. Lines like, "Classes start soon, so call now," or, "Your future is waiting," were burned into the collective consciousness. Dap Up turned into a fight. The unlikely meeting. It was their first time meeting literally, and this is how it happened. They were in a bustling city park. Two strangers, Alex and Ryan, crossed paths during a community event. Both were competitive types. Alex, a former boxer, and Ryan, an up-and-coming martial artist. Though they didn't know each other, their mutual confidence and fiery personalities made them stand out. A mutual friend, sensing an opportunity for camaraderie, introduced them. "You two should meet. You both love the fight world." Alex extended a hand, and Ryan firmly clasped it. But the handshake lingered a second too long, and their grips tightened, a silent challenge neither wanted to back down from. "What? Trying to crush my hand?" Alex asked with a raised brow, his voice half joking but edged with provocation. Ryan smirked. "Nah, just thought you'd have a stronger grip for a boxer." The crowd around them noticed the tension. Someone teased, "Oh, I think they just challenged each other." Whether it was the pressure of the onlookers or the natural competitiveness, the handshake suddenly escalated. Alex twisted his wrist, and Ryan countered, locking their arms in an impromptu test of strength. Ryan extended his hand first, flashing a smug grin. "Nice to meet you." Alex took it, gripping firmly, maybe a little too firmly. Ryan's grip tightened in response, his grin shifting into something sharper. "Strong handshake," Ryan said, voice tinged with sarcasm. "Trying to prove something." Alex didn't release his grip. "Just making sure you know I'm not a pushover." Their grips tightened further, knuckles whitening. It wasn't just a handshake anymore. It was a silent contest, and neither was willing to back down. Ryan narrowed his eyes. "Overcompensating much? Didn't think boxers needed to crush hands to feel tough." Alex scoffed. Says the guy who probably learned his moves on YouTube. The mutual dislike was instant, raw, and tangible. A small crowd started to gather, sensing the tension. But as the handshake lingered, their grips tightened, neither willing to be the first to back down. "Strong grip," Ryan said with a cocky grin, his eyes narrowing slightly. "Trying to prove something? Just making sure you know who you're dealing with," Alex replied, his voice low and steady. Ryan's smirk widened, though his fingers were starting to ache. "Yeah, well, you might want to ease up before you hurt yourself." Alex released his hand abruptly, stepping closer. "Funny. You don't seem like the kind of guy who knows how to handle real pressure." Ryan flexed his fingers, his smirk twisting into something more mocking. "And you don't seem like the kind of guy who knows when to back off." "What's the matter?" insecure about something. The crowd around them began to take notice, some pausing their conversations to watch. Insecure? Alex scoffed. I just don't like guys who think they're untouchable. Untouchable. Ryan shot back, his tone dripping with sarcasm. I'm just confident. It's not my fault you can't handle it. Alex stepped even closer, his voice dropping to a growl. You've got a big mouth for someone I just met. Ryan shrugged, feigning nonchalance. And you've got a chip on your shoulder for someone who can't keep up. Maybe that's why you're so desperate to act tough. The tension was suffocating. People nearby started murmuring, unsure if the situation was about to spiral out of control. Alex's jaw tightened. You keep running your mouth, and you're going to regret it. Ryan leaned in slightly, his smirk disappearing. Oh yeah, what are you going to do? Break my hand. You don't scare me. Alex's eyes darkened, his voice quiet but sharp as a blade. Keep pushing me, and I'll do more than that. I'll end you. You understand me. The threat hung heavy in the air, silencing the small crowd. Ryan paused for a moment, his smirk flickering before returning. You know, Ryan said, his tone icy, you're exactly the kind of guy the first can't stand. Loud, angry, and full of empty threats. But if you think you're scaring me, think again. Alex took a deep breath, his fists clenched at his sides, but he didn't move. Maybe next time, Ryan added, his smirk back in full force as he turned to walk away. If you ever grow the guts to back up your talk. Alex stayed rooted in place, his glare following Ryan as he disappeared into the crowd. The two had only just met, but it was clear, this wasn't over.